Okay, PowerPoint boleh nampak?
Boleh.
Yes. Okay.
Boleh.
Okay. Sekejap, berapa orang ni? Okay, boleh kita start?
Boleh.
Boleh ya. Okay. Kita start chapter baru. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, chapter number 5, refrigeration cycle. So, chapter number 5 ni chapter yang paling pendek. Hari ni kena habiskan chapter number 5. Chapter paling senang. If you compare to chapter number 2 until chapter number, probably chapter number 6. Chapter number 5 will be the, I call the easiest one compared to the others. Okay, so my target today we can complete what I call the lecture for chapter number 5. Okay, tengok apa ni lecture note kamu. So in terms of subtopic, so for the first session, start from 2 p.m. until 4 p.m. So the subtopic that we will discuss probably until subtopic number 1 until subtopic number 4. Session number 2 start from 4 p.m. So we start with subtopic number 5 until the end. Okay, so chapter number 5 actually categorized under cooling and also heating system. We have two topic under two chapter under cooling and also heating system, which are refrigerator, chapter number 5, and also chapter number 6, air conditioning. So both topic actually involve is cooling. Okay, cooling. Introduction about the refrigeration. So this is what I call the simple cross-section drawing of your domestic refrigeration or refrigerator. So there are 4 main components that involve. First, we have the evaporator. The second one, expansion valve. The third one, the what I call the condenser coil. And the last one, the main what I call component that we need to supply the energy to the component is the compressor. So these are 4 main components for the refrigerator. Okay. So refrigerator we consider as one of the major application of thermodynamic, where the main function we want to extract heat from cold area by using specific system that we call refrigerator and release the heat to the surrounding or the hot area. So the aim is we want to reduce the temperature of certain confined space. Okay, so that the temperature reduce, so we can keep our foods and so on in order to preserve the food for a longer time. Okay, so this cold area, if we refer to the what we call this simplified schematic diagram and compare with the what we call to the cross-section drawing of the actual refrigeration system, the cold area represent the area of the freezer and also the area of the cooler. Okay, where inside the coil we will have a specific refrigerant that used to absorb the heat so that the cold area inside the refrigerator will reduce in terms of temperature. And the hot area represented by the surrounding, where the refrigerant inside the condenser will release heat from the refrigerant so that we will have complete thermodynamic cycle for the refrigeration or refrigerator. So there are two types of thermodynamic for refrigeration system cycle. First is we call vapor compression cycle, where in terms of substance that we use, or working fluid that we use inside the coil, including evaporator and also the condenser, we will have phase change. Sometimes the refrigerant will change from compressed liquid to saturated mixture to superheated and so on. Similar as what I call the substance that we discussed in chapter number 4, Rankine cycle. Okay, similar as water. Which means if we consider a vapor compression cycle, we need to consider different type of table: compressed liquid, saturated mixture, and also superheated. Where first, if you want to use specific table, we need to check the phase first, similar as in chapter number 4 for the Rankine cycle. The other one we call the thermodynamic cycle for refrigeration is the gas refrigerant cycle, where the substance inside the substance or the working fluid inside the system still will keep remain as the gaseous phase. So no phase change during the operation. So for chapter number 5, we only discuss about the first one, vapor compression cycle. Okay, for chapter number 5, we only discuss about vapor compression cycle, where we need to include what I call different type of table when we want to determine what I call the enthalpy and so on. Okay, ada soalan, any question about the introduction?
No.
Okay, Doctor. Okay.
Yeah, clear?
Yeah.
Okay, kalau clear, proceed. What the difference between refrigerator and also heat pump? So the difference actually you already learned in thermodynamic 1. If you compare both refrigerator and also heat pump, in terms of system or in terms of main component of the system, actually is the same. Okay, where the system, the objective of the system, we want to transfer heat from low temperature to high temperature. Okay, so for a refrigerator, we have 4 main components: condenser, expansion valve, evaporator, and also compressor. Heat pump also will have the same main component: condenser, evaporator, compressor, and also expansion valve. Both will use the same component and will use the same system. So the difference is the function of the system. Okay, so for the refrigerator, we will manipulate the process that occur at the evaporator, where the refrigerant inside the coil will absorb heat from the refrigerator space, so that the temperature inside the refrigerator will reduce. However, okay, for the heat pump, the function of the heat pump same as the function of the heater, where you want to increase the temperature, for example, inside the house during winter season. So for the heat pump, the system will manipulate the process that occur in the condenser, where the condenser will release heat, and this heat will use to increase the temperature inside the house. So in terms of component, still the same, the components are the same, but the function is different between the refrigerator and also the heat pump. So these are the main, I will call, difference between refrigerator and also the heat pump. Okay, same system but different application. Okay, so basic principle or basic objective of the refrigerator is to maintain the refrigerated space. Refrigerated space refer to the freezer area and also the chiller area or cooling area, by removing heat so that the temperature inside the refrigerator will decrease. So this is what I call the simplified schematic diagram to describe the process that occur for the refrigerator or refrigeration system. So we have circle symbol with R, what I call capital letter of R, represent the system of the refrigerator. So we have QH. QH refer to the heat release or amount of energy, what I call heat energy that release to the surrounding or to the warm environment, which is referred to the at the back of your refrigerator, that the heat released by the condenser. And we have QL, where QL for the refrigerator is considered as desired output, because if the value of QL increase, so the temperature of the refrigerator space inside your refrigerator will reduce more, okay, compared the lower value of QL. Okay, so our objective, our main consideration for the refrigerator is the amount of QL. So if QL increase, temperature will decrease. Okay. And also, in order to run the system, refrigerator system, we need to supply energy at the we need to supply energy, which is electricity, to the compressor, because in order to run the compressor, we need to supply W in or W net in that we consider as the required input. Okay, so these are the simple schematic diagram for the refrigerator. Okay, ada tak? Ada soalan? Okay,
Belum lagi, Doktor.
Ya?
Belum lagi.
Belum lagi. Okay, faham tak?
InsyaAllah.
Yeah. Okay. So in terms of performance, for the refrigerator and also heat pump, we don't have, in order to determine the performance, we not need to calculate the thermal efficiency. But for the refrigerator, we have a specific parameter that we call COP, stand for coefficient of performance. R stand for refrigerator. So in terms of the general formula, COPR equal to desired output. For this case, desired output, if we refer to this schematic diagram, desired output is referred to W net in, amount of energy or electricity that you supply to the compressor. Desired output is amount of heat that absorbed by the refrigerant from the refrigerated space, which is referred as the QL, divided by required input, amount of energy required by the compressor. That's why the formula will be QL divided by W net in. Sometimes QL we call cooling effect or cooling load. So sometimes in the question mentioned about the value of cooling effect or cooling load. So that term actually represent the value of QL. Okay. However, for heat pump, the objective is to maintain a heated space at a higher temperature by absorbing heat that released by the condenser. Okay. So this is simplified schematic diagram. So the system of heat pump represented by circle with HP alphabet letter. And our concentration for the heat pump is the value of QH, amount of heat that released from the condenser absorbed by the house in order to increase the temperature. Also, because the component is the same, we need to supply what I call W in to the compressor so that the compressor can distribute the working fluid inside the cooling coil and also the heating coil inside the heat pump system. Okay. So in terms of performance also, we will use COP, but now COP-HB. So the desired output for the heat pump, we refer to the value of QH divided by required input. We will refer to the value of W net in. QH. So QH sometimes we call heating effect or heating load divided by W net in, which is work input to the compressor. Okay, so that individual formula for refrigerator and also heat pump. Also, we can combine because both use the same system. We can determine COP-HP equal to COPR plus 1. If the question asks you about the COP-HP, I call manipulate the value of COP-HP and also COPR in order to determine what I call whatever parameter involved is the combination of refrigerator and also heat pump. Okay, boleh? So that's what I call the main differences in terms of schematic diagram, definition, function, the main component, and also the formula of the performance for the refrigerator and also heat pump. Okay, boleh?
Boleh.
Ada soalan? Ada tanya.
Belum lagi. Ada. Dia kena tengok kira-kira dulu.
Seorang je. Yang lain mana?
Ada doktor, ada.
Ada ya?
Ada.
So kalau you nak tanya, you tanya je lah saya. Kalau tidak, you tak tanya saya straight je ni. Kalau saya tak nampak kamu ni. Okay, the reverse Carnot cycle. So as usual, when we discuss about specific thermodynamic system, first we will discuss about the maximum capability of certain cycle, such as Carnot, for example, chapter number 4, Carnot-Rankine cycle. Chapter number 3, Carnot, I call gas cycle and so on. So for the refrigerator also, we need to discuss about the maximum capability, which is based on the Carnot cycle, where we call the cycle as the reverse Carnot cycle. Why we call reverse? Because the direction of the cycle is reverse compared to the Brighton and also the Rankine cycle. Okay, in terms of schematic diagram for the reverse Carnot cycle, we have 4 main components. Condenser, where we need to release the heat to the environment. The second one, we have the evaporator, where the evaporator function is to absorb heat from the refrigerated space in order to reduce the temperature. We have the compressor to increase the pressure. We have the turbine to expand what I call the volume of the refrigerant inside the system. Okay, so we have 4 main components. We have number of state involved, also 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that means we will have 4 main different processes I call in the cycle. So if we draw TS diagram, the shape for the Carnot cycle must be in rectangle shape. So we have 2 process, which is isothermal process, state 2 to state 3, isothermal process, state 4 to state 1, isothermal process, and also we have 2 isentropic, S1 to S2, S3 to S4. Okay, so that's why we use we use turbine as a compressor, because by using turbine and also the compressor, we can create isentropic process to develop the Carnot cycle with rectangular shape in terms of thermodynamic cycle. Okay, so also we need to include the saturation line, because the substance that we normally use for the refrigerator will change in terms of phase. Sometimes the substance will change from compressed liquid to saturated mixture to superheated. So that's why we need to draw the saturation line. Okay. So the reverse Carnot cycle. So why we call reverse Carnot cycle? Because if we compare to the chapter number 4, for the Rankine cycle, I call the direction of the working fluid flow will be in clockwise. But for the reverse Carnot cycle, we call reverse Carnot cycle because the direction of the cycle is counterclockwise. Okay, so that's why we use this term, which is reverse Carnot cycle for the refrigerator. So the cycle, we consider the reverse Carnot cycle as the cycle with highest performance for a refrigerator and also for the heat pump. Okay, so the formula, for example, if you want to determine, the question asks you to determine what is the maximum performance for the refrigerator. So you need to calculate COP value for Carnot cycle. Okay, for the Carnot cycle, or the value also same as COPR for reversible process. So this term we already learned in chapter number 1 when we discussed about the exergy. Okay, in order to use the formula, you need to identify what is the highest temperature of the cycle and what is the lowest temperature of the cycle. So if you look at the schematic diagram, the highest temperature actually occur at the condenser. The lowest temperature is occur at the evaporator. So if the temperature of the evaporator given, the temperature at the condenser given, automatically you will know the value of TL and also TH, and you just substitute what I call the value into the COPR Carnot formula. But you need to remember that the temperature in the Carnot formula COPR must be in Kelvin. You cannot use in degree Celsius unit. Okay, for heat pump, we will have slightly different in terms of formulas. So COP HP Carnot, the maximum capability for the heat pump formula equal to 1 divided by 1 minus TL over TH. Okay, so this formula we'll use to determine that's the maximum performance for the refrigerator and also the maximum performance for the heat pump respectively. Okay, boleh tak?
Boleh.
Ya,
Dia
kalau
apa yang kena refrigerator cycle tu yang TH over L tolak 1. Tapi yang sebelah ni 1 tolak TL over TH.
dia mesti terbalik. Sebab dia
terbalik.
Dia terbalik. Sebab for the refrigerator, the system use the heat at the evaporator, QL. For the heat pump, dia pakai QH dekat condenser. So that's why this system dia terbalik. Formula dia terbalik. Nanti kalau tidak, salah satu akan jadi kurang daripada satu lah. Nilai dia kurang daripada satu. So for COP value, the value can be more than 100%. Can be more than 100%. Okay, boleh?
Boleh.
Okay. However, the Carnot refrigerator cycle is not practical for the actual application of refrigerator cycle due to certain reason. Okay. First reason, if you look at process number 1 to process number 2. So this process actually occur in which component? 1 to 2. Yang ni. Component kat mana?
Mixture.
Bukan. Maksudnya proses ni, this process from state number 1 to process number 2 occur in the compressor, where the isentropic S1 equal to S2. However, the temperature increase during that process. The pressure also increase. Okay, after the refrigerant or working fluid entering the compressor. Okay, so not practical during the process in the compressor for the reverse Carnot cycle because at the inlet of the compressor state number 1, the phase is saturated mixture and at the end is saturated vapor. Because the compressor only can handle vapor. If we compare with the pump only can handle liquid, but the compressor in terms of performance, only can handle gas in terms of phase. For this case, this compressor need to handle two type of liquid, which is vapor and also liquid. Two type of fluid, vapor and also liquid. So this will cause the reduction of performance of individual compressor. Okay, so that's why this process is not practical. So we need to make something so that state number 1 and also state number 2 must at least within the saturated vapor region, at least. Okay. Reason number 2, because now for this case we use the turbine. So the problem same as the problem that occur in the turbine when we discuss about the Rankine cycle. Okay, where we can see here at the inlet of the turbine is saturated liquid. At the end is saturated mixture. So we need to face different percentage of moisture content during the expansion process. So moisture content will cause the damage in terms of the blade surface of the turbine. Okay. So the process number 3 to number 4 will involve high moisture content during the expansion process. So these are two main problem why the reverse Carnot cycle is not practical if you want to use for the actual refrigeration refrigerator system or refrigeration cycle. Okay, low vapor quality also equal to high moisture content during the expansion process. Okay, so that's why we introduce the specific thermodynamic cycle for the refrigerator that we call vapor compression refrigeration cycle. Okay, so we will not use the reverse Carnot cycle for the actual refrigerator. So the reverse Carnot cycle just used for the comparison for the maximum capability for the refrigerator. Okay tak?
Okay.
Okay,
Eh?
okay, okay.
Kena baca cepat je pun ni. Clear tak? Clear tak? Ada soalan tak yang lain? Shaheen, Said, any question about the reverse Carnot cycle and also the introduction of the refrigerator?
No, thank you, Doctor. Clear.
Okay. Okay, proceed.
Okay.
Okay, now specific thermodynamic cycle for refrigerator. So there actually, as I mentioned before, there are two types of cycle. First, vapor compression. The other one is gas. Gas compression cycle, if I'm not mistaken. For this vapor compression cycle, the cycle will involve different phase of refrigerant. Sometimes compressed liquid, sometimes saturated mixture, sometimes superheated. So we need to check first the phase, and then we can determine the enthalpy value, entropy value, and so on to determine the performance and so on. Okay. Okay. So first we discuss about the ideal one. Okay, this is the schematic diagram for the Carnot cycle schematic diagram. So impracticality in Carnot refrigeration cycle, such as high moisture content in the turbine, and also two phases compression in the compressor, can be solved by using certain method where in the vapor compression refrigeration cycle, in order to reduce high moisture content in the turbine, we can replace, instead of we use the turbine, we can use other type of device that we call throttling device. Sometimes we use expansion valve and also capillary tube. Okay, so instead of we use turbine, we just use the expansion valve or capillary tube. So we replace the turbine that we use in the reverse Carnot cycle. So this is the minimum I call schematic diagram for the vapor compression refrigeration cycle. So we have one compressor, one condenser, one expansion valve, and also one evaporator. So at the compressor, you need to supply W in. At the condenser, you need to release heat to surrounding, and the value of energy or heat that released to surrounding represented by QH. At the evaporator, the refrigerant inside the system, the piping line or the tube, will use to absorb the heat from the cold refrigerated space so that the temperature in the space will reduce at certain temperature. Okay, so this is the basic schematic diagram. Okay, so the problem involves the compression where we have two different phases during the compression process can be solved where when we can make sure that at least no liquid exists during the process, where we need to make sure that 100% vaporize before the compression process. At the inlet of the compression process, we need to make sure that the phase is at least at saturated vapor region. At least. Okay. So now, if we consider these two solutions, we will have new TS diagram for this vapor compression refrigeration cycle, as shown in the slide, where we have at the inlet of the compressor that represented by state number 1, the phase will be saturated vapor. So at the compressor, we need to supply W in, compression process occur, the pressure increase, and the phase in terms of refrigerant at state number 2 will be superheated. Okay. After that, the refrigerant will flow through the condenser at constant pressure, where P2 will be equal to P3. And during the condensation process, the refrigerant need to release heat that represented by QH to surrounding. At the outlet of the condenser, the phase will be at saturated liquid before entering the throttling device or expansion valve. Okay, so after the refrigerant flow through the expansion valve, where we have drastically drop in terms of pressure, so state number 4 will be in saturated mixture region. So these are the phases that involved during the ideal vapor compression refrigeration cycle. Okay, state number 1, saturated vapor. State number 2, superheated. State number 3, saturated liquid. State number 4, saturated mixture. So these are what I call the condition for the ideal vapor compression refrigeration cycle, which is we can say that the default phase for the vapor compression refrigeration cycle for the ideal case. Okay, so for example, if you want to determine the formula just based on the TS diagram, you can determine the formula for the, for example, W in, QH, QL. For example, if we want to determine the formula for W in, the formula for W in will be H2 minus H1. The formula for Q out will be H2 minus H3. The formula for QL will be H1 minus H4 and so on. Okay, that's how we determine the formula for each individual parameter in the vapor compression refrigeration cycle. Okay. Boleh tak? Ada soalan about schematic diagram and also the TS diagram for the ideal vapor compression refrigeration cycle. So we only have 4 states involved, 4 processes involved, and so 4 states involved.
Tak ada.
Tak ada?
Sekejap.
Tanya dia. Tanya. Ya.
Tetapi yang untuk memang yang kalau idea pun dia memang pusing reverse juga.
Tak dengar. Mula?
Kalau dalam contoh dalam idea gas turbine dia pusing clockwise. Kalau walaupun ni ideal dia still pusing counter clockwise.
Idea dia mesti counter clockwise. Counter clockwise. Sebab dia reverse, dia kira reverse. Reverse if compared to Rankine lah. Rankine cycle. Dia reverse. Bentuk dia reverse. Tapi tak tulislah sebagai reverse ideal vapor compression, tak perlu.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay.
Any other question? Ada? Semua faham?
Okay.
So, in your final, one question from this chapter. Optional. You can answer this chapter number 5, or you can answer chapter number 6.
Mana senang tu?
Nanti you tahu, nanti you belajar chapter 6 baru you tahu. Biasanya normally student will choose chapter number 5. Although chapter number 6 more I call easy in terms of difficulty in terms of question. Okay, because sometimes the student don't have enough time to study chapter number 6. Okay, boleh? Okay.
Boleh.
Okay. Again, we just show what I call more practical in terms of diagram. So this is 3D cross-section, partial cross-section drawing for the actual refrigerator. So I just want to show what I call the location of the evaporator, condenser, pump, and also expansion valve or capillary tube. Okay. So actually, what I call the compartment, the upper compartment normally we call the freezer, and the lower compartment normally we call chiller or cooler. So the different name we use actually refer to the temperature, the range of the temperature that we use for the freezer and also for the chiller. Okay, so normally for the freezer, the temperature will be lower than 0. Okay. So the evaporator coil, I call the diagram. The schematic diagram. The coil that shows in the slide represent by actually is the evaporator coil that where the refrigerant inside the evaporator will absorb the heat from the freezer space so that the temperature will drop until negative, maybe -4, -10, and so on. Okay. Okay, flow through the evaporator. Okay, so the refrigerant will absorb heat from the refrigerator space, and the value represented by QL. And the refrigerant will flow through the compressor. For the compression process, the pressure will increase, the temperature will increase. And when the refrigerant flow through the condenser will force the refrigerant to release heat to surrounding at the back of your refrigerator. Okay, where the value represented by QH. And then the refrigerant enter the capillary tube or expansion valve, where the function of the capillary tube, we want to have the drastic decrease of pressure so that the temperature also will reduce. And the process will continue. We repeat again. Okay, for evaporation process, compression process, condensing process, and so on. Okay. Okay, so if you look, what I call in your schematic diagram, for the compressor, we realize that the symbol that we use is piston cylinder device for the symbol of the compressor inside your schematic diagram. Why we use the symbol? If you cut the compressor, for the actual compressor, you can see that inside the compressor you will have what I call the piston, small piston cylinder device inside your compressor. Okay, so we have piston here and also piston rod. So the movement of the piston will compress the refrigerant inside the compressor. So that's why the symbol that we use for the refrigerant, the schematic diagram of the refrigerator, we will use the piston cylinder device symbol instead of we use the what I call the trapezium symbol that we use for the reverse Carnot cycle. Okay, boleh tak?
Boleh.
Yeah. Okay, so in term of formula, process and formula. So in order to describe the process or the parameter involved in the refrigerator, so we can use pH diagram, where pH diagram we describe the pressure and also enthalpy change during the process, or we can use TS diagram, where the diagram describe the temperature change and also entropy change during the process in the refrigeration system. Okay, the schematic diagram is still the same. We have one compressor where we need to provide W in. We have one condenser where we have release heat surrounding represented by QH. We have expansion valve to reduce the pressure and also the temperature. We have evaporator where the evaporator will absorb heat that represented by QL. So process number 1, from state number 1 to state number 2, is we consider as isentropic compression. So the name of the process is isentropic compression, because isentropic, for the ideal case, S2 must be equal to S1. The compression due to the compressor, process that occur in the compressor. So that's why we call the process as the isentropic compression. Process number 2, for the ideal case, state number 2 to state number 3, we call constant pressure because P2 equal to P3. Heat rejection because the condenser will release heat to surrounding. Process number 2. Process number 3, throttling process in the expansion device, represented by state number 3 to state number 4 process. So the main criteria for the throttling process is the value of enthalpy for state number 3 is equal to the value of enthalpy for the state number 4. So which means for this case, if you have the value for H3, no need to determine the phase, no need to determine the value of H4 by using the table, because the value of H3 equal to H4. So for the ideal vapor compression refrigeration cycle, you only to determine H1 until H3. Okay, no need to determine H4. The last one, constant pressure heat absorption in the evaporator, where P4 equal to P1, and the refrigerant or the evaporator will absorb the heat from the refrigerated space that represented by the symbol of the parameter that represented by QL. Okay, so these are 4 processes involved in the refrigeration cycle. Okay, so in terms of formula, so as usual, in order to obtain the specific equation, especially for the W in, QH, and also QL, so the basic equation must be, you need to implement energy balance equation. So you will have H exit minus H inlet, because each component you need to treat as the open component, because we have a mass in and also mass out. Okay, cancel out whatever parameter that not involved for specific component. So for heat transfer process for QL, at the evaporator, the formula will be H1 minus H4. QH, H2 minus H3. If you forgot the formula of the QL, QH, you just refer to the TS diagram. Okay, so by referring to the TS diagram, you can identify the formula for QL and also QH. W, work, in terms of work, we only have one work, which is the work that you need to supply to the compressor. So W in at the compressor will be H2 minus H1. For throttling process, the main characteristic for throttling process, H3 must be equal to H4. Performance, you need to calculate COPR, where the formula for COPR equal to QL divided by W net in. Okay, so because now here we use small letter QL, the unit actually kilojoule per kg. W net in also kilojoule per kg. If you want to use capital letter QL, the unit will be kilojoule. Capital letter W net in will be kilojoule. Okay, small letter, the unit will be kilojoule per kg. Capital letter, the unit will be kilojoule. Okay. Also, we can calculate based on the parameter for the refrigerator to determine the COP HP if we reverse the function of the refrigerator. Okay tak? Boleh?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, tengok soalan. So, close your solution. You buat keluar kertas soalan, kita buat sama-sama how to solve the problem involved with the refrigerator. The ideal vapor compression cycle. Okay. So, if you look at the question, yeah. A refrigerator use refrigerant 134A. So this is the substance that we use here is the refrigerant R134A, which means you need to refer whatever data that you need to obtain, you need to refer to the table of R134A. So there are a lot of different type of refrigerant. We have refrigerant 22 and so on. So for this case, in chapter thermodynamic 2, chapter number 5, we only consider the refrigerant R134A. Okay, as the working fluid and operate on an ideal vapor compression refrigeration cycle between 0.14 and 0.8 megapascal. So here the value of pressure given here, the question provide the maximum pressure for the cycle and also the minimum pressure of the cycle. Which one is bigger, 0.8 megapascal or 0.14 megapascal?
0.8.
0.8.
Okay, so 0.8 will be the upper limit in terms of pressure. 0.14 we refer as the lower limit of the pressure. So you just the TS diagram will involve only two constant pressure line, 0.14 and also 0.8 megapascal. If the mass flow rate of the refrigerant is 0.05, which is this is the value of mass flow rate, m dot, determine the rate of heat removal. So which means when the question mentioned the rate of, so the symbol that we use for the rate of heat removal from the refrigerated space is referred to the Q, H or QL dot. Heat removal from the refrigerated space.
QH.
QH.
QH heat removal from the condenser. Yang ni adalah heat removal from the refrigerated space.
QL.
QL dot.
Macam mana kita
Okay.
nak tahu dia dot ke tak?
Sebab dia kata rate of.
Oh.
Rate of. Rate kan kadar per second. Okay. Because the question give you the value of m dot. So that's why the input for the compressor, the question will ask you the power input, not the work input. So the unit also will be kilojoule per second or kilowatt. Okay, B, the rate of heat rejection to the environment. So question B refer to the value of QH, capital letter QH dot. Okay, and then COP. COPR for the refrigerator. Boleh? Okay, tengok soalan dia. Cuba buat sendiri. Sekejap Mana? Okay. Kalau boleh buat sama-sama lah. Cuba. No need to look at your solution in the slide. Okay, first, draw the schematic diagram. Sorry lukisan tak cantik sikit, saya pakai pen ni. Schematic diagram for the refrigerator. Mana pen dia? Ya. Sorry tak tahu nak pakai. Mana pen dia?
Oh.
Tadi ada. Ya. Sekejap kat mana dah pen dia? Ni. Okay, draw schematic diagram. So we have a standard schematic diagram. We have compressor. Apa ni? Buruk pula lukisan dia. W in at the compressor. We have condenser. QH. After the condenser, expansion valve, evaporator, we have QH. So at the evaporator, actually the component actually attached with the freezer box or chiller box. Okay, when the refrigerant absorb the heat, so the temperature of the cooler or the freezer will reduce. Okay, so this.
Doktor,
Yep, dotted
itu bukan
dashed
QL
line.
ke doktor?
Sorry, QL. QL represent this what call refrigerated space. Okay, so this area considered as refrigerated space. Okay, lukis dulu. Lambat sikit lukis bukan ni. Okay. By default, state number 1 at the inlet of the compressor. State number 2, outlet. Also inlet of the condenser. State number 3, outlet of the condenser. Also equal as inlet of the expansion valve. State number 4, outlet of the expansion valve. Okay.
Yang dotted line tu apa tu?
Cuman, yang mana?
Yang ada QL. Yang
Ini.
dotted line.
Yang ni?
Mana?
Yang dot ni? Refrigerated space ataupun freezer box, cooler box. Faham tak? This one macam schematic diagram saja. So kalau if you draw the actual one, contoh this is plan view of the cooler box, your cooler box. Contoh your evaporator actually inside the wall of the refrigerator space atau dalam freezer box. Okay. So the evaporator will absorb the heat from the refrigerator's box or freezer box so that the temperature reduce. So in terms of schematic diagram, no need to draw the box. We just draw the evaporator that represented by the rectangle shape of the evaporator. Okay tak? Faham tak?
Okay.
Yeah. So number 1. Okay, draw TS diagram. TS diagram. Payah pula ni. Warna kat mana dah? Okay, draw saturation line.
So dia ada dua ni kan?
Hmm?
Pressure line dia ada dua
Ada dua. Two constant pressure line. First constant pressure line, lower constant pressure line is 0.14 megapascal. The upper limit of the pressure is
0.8.
referred as 0.8 megapascal. Okay. Okay, so dia dulu sikit saya tak biasa. Okay, so because the cycle is ideal, at the inlet of the compressor, state number 1 will be saturated vapor. We have isentropic process at the condenser, reach to state number 2. State number 2, superheated vapor. State number 3 at saturated liquid. State number 4, saturated mixture. Okay. Alamak. Okay, so W in at the condenser, at the compressor, QH at the condenser, QL at the evaporator. So these are your, your information in terms of the TS diagram that we can obtain from the equation. Okay, so now after that, the step is you need to determine the value of H1, H2, H3, and H4. So for state number 1, so the method almost similar when we try to solve the problem involved is Rankine cycle. Okay. Okay, so at least you need to have 2 data for each state to determine H1 and so on. Okay, so for state number 1, the information that we have only phase, which is saturated vapor. The pressure apa? What is the pressure for state number 1?
0.8 kan?
Pressure number 1?
0.8.
0.8, 0.8.
Ya ke? State number 1?
0.14.
0.14 megapascal. Ada lagi tak?
Dengan P, dia sama dengan P4.
Sama dengan P4. Okay, sama dengan P4 kan. Okay. So which table you need to refer to? Table mana?
Saturated vapor.
Saturated R134A table. So in order to determine H1 equal to apa? G or HF?
HG.
HG because saturated
HG.
vapor. At 0.14 megapascal. You carilah berapa. And also you can determine S1, maybe later on you can manipulate this value. You cari berapa. You cari, pakai table.
Doktor, kenapa dia HG, doktor?
Because the phase is saturated vapor.
Okay.
Kat sini G. Kat sini F. Kat sini F.
Kat mana? Tak nampak ke sel?
Tak nampak ke sir? Saya bulat nampak tak?
Tak nampak.
Nampak?
Okey.
Yang ni nampak?
Okey, merah tu nampak.
Ini saturated vapor.
Hmm.
Saturated liquid. Kan sebelah sini kan semua liquid. Di sini semua liquid. Yang sini
Okey,
vapor.
nampak.
Nampak? Okay, apa nilai dia? H1.
H4 HG 3
Bagi sini table. Pakai table
236.04.
Okay.
S1 ambil SG 0.9322.
0.9.
9322.
Okay. Boleh? Okay, settle state number 1.
Okey.
Ya. Macam saya nak gerak ni, nak gerak ke tepi ni. Ni cursor. Gerak ke bawah.
Kenapa dia tak pakai PowerPoint je?
PowerPoint nak kena type.
Boleh lah ada pen lah doktor.
Tak boleh dia apa ni, tak ada yang free punya, tulisan free punya, dia satu line macam mana? Macam ni.
Word ada lah, word pada.
Word ada line. Contoh ni jangan mana? Shape mana? Yang mana nak ambil? Yang ni.
Tak, dia kena buka dekat setting, kena on, tak silap saya kena on ni.
Yang tu
Oh,
ke slide.
Tak payah buka slide apa tu.
Macam mana? Kat mana?
Kat word tu masuk word. Word ke?
Mana? Insert.
Insert. Oh, doktor punya tak ada pen kat tu. Sekejap.
Saya dah try tadi. Kalau pakai pen ni, contoh pakai yang free, apa ni? Free apa ni? Free line. Dia berhenti satu-satu. Dia berhenti segmen by segmen macam tu. Tak apalah, nanti saya try. Kemudian, nanti lambat.
Canva.
Boleh lah? Canva nanti saya try kemudian. Tak sempat. Okay. Cuma saya tadi nak gerak ke sini je. Tak apalah. Okay. Step number 2. Cuba kita baca sikit. Step number 2. Tak boleh.
0.8.
Kita tengok data dulu. State. Okay, state 2. Tengok data apa? Phase apa?
Superheated vapor.
Superheated vapor. S2 equal to S1. 0.9322. Lagi apa lagi?
P2.
P2.
P2 equal to 0.8 megapascal. Okay, you already have enough information to use table, superheated vapor table. So, table, superheated vapor R134A. So determine H2.
0.8.
Pressure 0.8 megapascal.
So yang ni kena tengok HG juga kan?
Tak HG sebab dia
Tak ada.
superheated.
Dia tak superheated. Cumanya nak tengok data kena tengok S.
Dia tengok S. Yeah. You kena scan through the column for S.
Okay.
Interpolation.
Kena interpolation doktor.
Yep. Interpolation.
Between saturated dengan hot.
Boleh gerak. Dah. Okay, boleh gerak. Dia kena right click. Right click, naikkan sikit. Sikit sikit. Nampak tak ini besar ni? Ke kecil?
Nampak
tak?
S93.
Berapa?
Sekejap.
So pakai entropy S2 value already obtained based on superheated vapor table R134A. Refer to the pressure 0.8 megapascal. Make interpolation. Interpolation between S column and also H column.
Dia dapat 272.05.
272. Betul
Sekejap, tunggu dia apa.
Saya pun dapat 272.05.
Okay. Kilojoule per kg. Okay Okay, orang lain dapat semua? H1 and also H1, H2. Any question about state number 2?
Dapat.
Dapat? Okay. Okay, state number 3. List down the data given. So, state number 3, the phase is saturated liquid. Apa ada lagi? Apa lagi? Apa lagi
Dia
data?
P1 equal to P3.
P1? No.
P2, sorry. P2 equal to P3.
P3 equal to P2 equal to 0.8 megapascal. Okay. So you have two information because the phase saturated liquid table that you need to refer to saturated R134A. So your H3 equal to
HF.
F, yes, at 0.8 megapascal. Okay. Use the table, determine H3.
93.42.
93.42 kilojoule per kg. Okay. Ada soalan tak? State number 3. How to determine H3? Okay, clear semua?
Clear.
Clear.
Senang je ni. Okay, state number 4. State number 4. Throttling.
Mixture.
Throttling device.
Saturated
Phase
mixture.
saturated mixture. P4 equal to P1
P1.
equal to
0.14
megapascal.
H4
So because
equals to
the
H3.
characteristic of the throttling process H4 equal to H3, so no need to use the table. So automatically understood H4 equal to H3 equal to 93.42 kilojoule per kg. Okay. So you obtain all enthalpy value for all states for the ideal refrigeration vapor compression refrigeration cycle. Okay tak? Baru you jawab soalan A apa?
Dia nak rate of
Soalan A apa?
heat removal.
A tadi? Sorry.
Q dot
Rate
Sekejap.
of heat removal.
Betul macam mana kita tahu H4 equal to H3
Memang
Dia
tadi
memang
throttling process.
formula.
You tengok dekat slide tadi memang dia tu. Tapi kalau for example kalau you kata kenapa H3 equal to H4? In order to obtain that relationship, you need to analyze energy balance equation dekat expansion valve. Kan nanti if you go back to the contoh yang ni kan. Sorry Ni kan. Q in, Q out, W in, W out, H exit, H inlet kan. If you implement dekat expansion valve, ada Q in tak?
Tak ada.
Tak ada.
Ada Q out tak?
Tak ada.
W in?
Tak ada.
Tak ada?
W in?
Oh, W in
Tak
tak ada.
static.
W out?
Tak ada.
W out. Tak ada kan? So yang tinggal kosong, 0 equal to H exit, H4 minus H3.
Pindah sebelah.
Pindah sebelah, you will get H3 equal to H4. So that's why for the throttling device, the basic characteristic is H4 equal to H4 equal to H3 or H3 equal to H4. Okay, so question A, the question asks you to determine Q apa? Tadi
QL.
QL QL
Q dot L.
Q dot L. So because the question asks you about the rate of, so the formula will be M dot multiplied by H berapa? QL
H1 minus H4.
H1 minus H4. So just substitute the value, multiply with the mass flow rate. So you will get the unit will be kilowatt.
0.05.
Kira.
Tidak dia dah bagi orang.
7.131.
Berapa?
7.131 kilowatt.
7.1.
7.131.
7.171.
31.
131.
Kilowatt.
3 dah ada, dah 3.
7.131.
7.131 betul eh?
Betul.
3. Okay, lagi? Tak.
COPR.
Sebelum tu A ada 2 kan?
Ada 2
W
and
in,
the
dia minta
power
power
input.
input.
Power
Power
input.
input. Okay. W in dot M dot multiplied by
H2
H2
minus
minus H1.
H2 minus H1. Senang je. Unit also kilowatt. But rate of power output. Ini sama dengan power. Bila ada dot. If the symbol include dot, so this term we call power input. Without dot, work input.
1.8005.
0?
0.05.
Okay.
Kilowatt.
Question B. Any question about question A? Why we got QL dot equal to M dot multiplied by H1 minus H4. W in dot equal to M dot H2 minus H1. And so on. Ada tak? Any question?
No.
No, eh? Question B. Apa dia minta? What is the question?
COPR.
COPR.
Dia minta the rate of
QH.
QH.
Heat rejection. Rate of heat rejection.
Yeah. M dot multiplied by, look at DTS diagram. In case you forgot the formula, look at DTS diagram. QH equal to
M dot time H2 minus H3.
Minus H3. Okay. Senang.
Uh, 8.932.
Cepat.
Hmm. 8.932.
Okay, C tu dekat sini
Chop.
C. Performance. CO. POPR. The
R.
formula QL dot divided by
Over W net in.
Work network W net in.
W in.
berapa dapat?
Doktor, COPR ni dia maximum value kan?
Dia boleh lebih daripada 100. 1000 boleh.
Oh, lebih daripada 1.
Ha,
Oh, okay.
berapa dapat?
W in 1.8.
3.96 1
3.961
I
61
kilowatt. Sorry, tak ada unit without unit.
bukan 4.96 ke?
4.6.
8.932.
7
QL 7.131 divided by W in 1.8005.
Oh,
Berapa?
3.961.
Okay, 61. Without unit Also sama juga dengan 396.1%.
dapat 100 sudah sih.
Dia can be more than 100%. So this value, when your friend asks you about what is the meaning of COP equal to 3.961. Okay, so this value actually represent for 1 kilowatt of W in that you supply to the compressor, amount of heat that absorbed by the evaporator will be 3.961 unit. 1 unit of power input, you will absorb 3.961 unit of heat to reduce the temperature. So, which means if the value of COP greater, that will be better for your refrigerator. Okay tak? Faham tak? Faham tak? So kalau for example COPR kamu 10.9, so 1 kilowatt of power supply to the compressor will absorb 10.9 heat from the refrigerated space by the evaporator. Okay, which means you can reduce more in terms of temperature in your freezer. Okay, any question about this example? Simple question for the ideal vapor compression efficient cycle.
Tak ada.
Ada?
Ada
Okay, clear?
Alhamdulillah.
Okay, clear. So kita berhenti dulu. Boleh tak kita berhenti, kita start balik session kedua dalam 3.30 ke macam mana? Ke nak start pukul 4?
3.30.
3.30.
3.30?
3.5.
Okay, so sekarang sekejap. So session 1 already complete. So we assume that session 1 for today, the actual today class, Tuesday class already complete. So you fill in your attendance through WhatsApp group. The password will be, apa password dia? Macam nak tulis password ni? Ni password dia. Sekejap.
Alamak.
Kenapa tu?
Tahu.
Ni password dia. Saya tulis kat sini. Saya bagi 5 minit je. Alamak. Macam nak tulis tulis kat Word lah. Ni password dia. Capital letter semua. Saya bagi 5 minit je.
Ya, betul.
Okay. Isi attendance.
Ini untuk yang session sekarang kan, sekejap lagi lain kan?
Kejap lagi lain.
Okay.
Ya, dah betul.
Okay. Break sekejap.
Okay. Ya, petang ni sambung berapa lama pula tu?
Tengok setakat saya larat.
Okay.
Saya rasa
Okay,
mungkin
doktor.
sejam je lah kot.
Okay. Ni boleh left ke?
Left. Betul boleh left. Nanti pakai link yang seterusnya. So you can left this this link.
Oh, tak pakai
So-
sama
No. At 3:30 you need to click the second link.
Okay.
Okay, masih tak?
Okay.